Hello, you are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 13. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today we are doing a retro mini travel tale. I'm talking with Eve about her family's trip to Disney World in November of 2019. They traveled during the Thanksgiving week with 12 people. She has such great advice for traveling during a busy season with so many people. As always, this show is sponsored by Trolley Lane Travel, LLC. If you're thinking about traveling to any Disney resort or even taking a Disney cruise, then having a travel agent will not only save you time, but also money. With all the exciting things going on at the parks right now, there really is no better time to visit. Owner Becky and her agents are experts at Disney travel. Visit them at trolleylanetravel.com and go to their Request a Quote page for a free, no-obligation quote. Get your magical vacation started today. If you book your vacation with them and want to be on the show, let your agent know this is how I get my guest. If you're enjoying the show and want to help support it, there are two super easy ways to do it. First is leaving a positive review on Apple Podcasts. And secondly, share the show with a friend. Okay, so let's get started. Imagine yourself walking down Main Street at Magic Kingdom looking at all the holiday decorations and lights. And let's go. Hi, Eve. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, Jenny.
So, in full disclosure, Eve is my best friend, and I hankered her to be on the show today.
I'm so excited. We are both Disney megabucks.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Ultra planners, so we like to talk Disney all the time, so it's perfect.
It is. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, so Eve is going to be sharing with us today about their Thanksgiving trip that they took in November of 2019, and they traveled the 20th through the 26th. And I wanted to do this episode because that's one of the busiest weeks to go to Disney, and with the parks going back to normal, a lot of people are going to be traveling, and I think this Thanksgiving is going to be nuts. And so I thought we need to go back to the way it used to be and get some advice. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with Disney vacations?
Okay, great. Well, I am a busy mom of four and absolutely in love with Disney. And we planned our first trip. We went in 2014 when we just had 3 kids, and that was so fun. But one thing we realized is that we walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. So we ended up going back the next year, and Jenny and I got together, and we created a document. She created a document. I copied it, filled it all in, and it was amazing because it saved us so much time. And I can talk about that a little bit more later. So then fast forward a couple of years, we had our 4th baby. We went on a Disney cruise. We kind of sort of loved that. It wasn't ideal with a baby, but it was still a really fun experience. And then in 2019, we went back for Thanksgiving. We had so much help from Becky, the travel planner. She is amazing, and she just really hooked us up. And she actually told us to go a little bit earlier than Thanksgiving. So we took our kids out of school a couple days early, which was 100% worth it. At that point, our youngest was about to be 3. He was 1 month shy of 3, so you get that free ticket, which is a plus. And then our daughter was 9, and we had 2 boys who were 11 and 13. And when we took that trip, we love to take the grandparents because they are an amazing help. And it's really fun because you can split up, and they can take the younger ones somewhere. You can go on the bigger rides with the bigger kids. And we also had my sister-in-law and her husband. They weren't even engaged when we went then. So we had 12 of us total. And we stayed at the Art and Animation Resort, which is our very favorite place to stay at Disney World. It's a value resort, but the reason we love it is because, one, it's crazy cute, and it's a suite, which is amazing with a big family. You can kind of split up. There's 2 bathtubs to soak those aching feet at the end of the night from all the walking, and we stayed in the cars area, which our youngest was obsessed with cars. And I wish I could just show you his face when he saw all those amazing features there at the Art of Animation.
That's so exciting. So traveling with 12 people, I'm not going to lie, that sounds a little crazy. Oh my gosh, but that is fun. At least it was mostly adults.
Yeah, it's funny because the adults love Disney as much as the kids.
Absolutely. That's great. And when we went this year, Eve is the one who talked me into staying at the Cars Suite, and it was a great choice. It's such a great option for families that it's almost like you can't really stay anywhere else.
Well, the very first time we went, we stayed at Art of Animation, and we stayed in the Nemo suites, which were absolutely adorable. And the pool is just, I mean, it's out of your dreams. It's adorable. And then when we went back, we stayed at the Caribbean Resort, and that was different because the pickup on the buses, and it took a lot longer for us to get to the park, and the room was really small. And we said, when we're going back, Art of Animation is our place. Another favorite thing I love about the Art of Animation is the Skyliner. Now, I know that's a little bit different with the COVID situation and the lines are a lot longer, but when we went there, it was our favorite way to travel to the parks. Our whole family could get in one cart. You could roll a stroller right on there, not have to pack it down. You have fresh air and views. So we absolutely love the Skyliner, and that's just a quick walk right there from the Art of Animation.
Yeah, I think the Skyliner transportation is getting better now that they're, I'm not sure if they're only loading one family per Skyliner. I know that's what was kind of slowing it up. I'm not really sure if they're still doing that, but once I think they change that, it'll go a lot faster. Because if you're like two people and you're getting your very own Skyliner, I mean, that's really nice for you, but yeah, that slows the line down.
Yes, when we were there, it was literally walk up and go on.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so y'all flew because you were coming from Texas. So how was the airports around that time?
It was great. On our way out, we left about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so our kids got to go a little bit to school. We picked them up early. It's about 2.5-hour flight time, direct flight to Orlando. We saw other people we knew kind of cutting town early, but getting out of town was awesome. We arrived about 6 p.m. and we did the Magical Express, which we love, but I learned a tip. When we got to the Magical Express, we got on the bus, we went to the hotel, and we waited and waited and waited and waited for our bags. They didn't actually show up to our room until 11 o'clock that night, so fortunately, we had packed PJs in all the kids' backpacks, and they were able to go to sleep, but we weren't, and so after that trip, and when I talked to Becky, she recommended getting on the Magical Express, but collecting your own baggage first and putting your own baggage on the bus versus them picking it up and bringing it to the hotel. So I thought that was a great advice and something we'll always do from now on.
Yeah, that is great advice.
So our travel day, we went straight to the resort, and I think we ate there, and we basically just went to bed because by the time we got there, it was the evening. But we were all very excited, and we had a breakfast reservation the first day, so we wanted to get up and get going.
Was the resort busy when you got there?
I don't remember it being too busy.
Okay,
it felt really nice.
Oh, that's nice. Let's talk about your first park day. What park did y'all visit?
Okay, so we were going back, and all the new Star Wars stuff was in then, brand new in 2019. And so we actually planned our trip with a day at each park, but 2 days at Hollywood Studios because we are big Star Wars people, and we absolutely love that. So we went there first, and we had an 8:20 breakfast, which is before the park opens, which is nice because you can get in. We went to Hollywood and Vine. That's actually where one set of the grandparents coming from Alabama met us. So that was a super fun reunion right there. All the wonderful Disney Junior characters. It was a perfect way to start the trip. And then because you're right there, as soon as the park opened, my husband and my 2 middle kids were able to go straight over to the Jedi training right around the corner and get signed up to do that. So those 2 got to do the Jedi training, which was, I was flipping back through the photos today and seeing their smiles and their faces. It just makes me so excited to plan another Disney trip.
That's so fun. Did y'all like Hollywood and Vine?
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
We did. Yes, we liked the food. The service was good. You know, it's a little slow sometimes, but you're there having the experience, and all the characters are coming around. And one thing that Jenny and I both do is get the kids little autograph books before you go. We still have the same ones with their little Disney pens, and so they sat there and they were really excited for characters that you don't see at other places in the park. So after that, we did have a Fast Pass back in the day, the wonderful day of Fast Pass.
Yes.
And we went and did Rock and Roller Coaster, which was fun because I had never done that one before, and we absolutely loved it. And then we just kind of popped around right there, so close to the Tower of Terror, which I said I would never do because I had that fear of the drop. And I'm so glad you got to go do the stuff while you're there, you know? I'm so glad that my kids kind of talked me into it because it ended up being one of my favorite rides. Just that thrill and seeing everybody laugh together. And what's cool is there's a really neat little Cars area right by Rock and Roller Coaster. And so my youngest, Jeffy, he hung out there with the grandparents, got pictures of him giving the big old Cars kisses and everything. So he was happy as could be. And then we popped over to Star Tours, which we love. And we did that. I think we did the mobile order option, and we ate right after Star Tours. And then we had a Fast Pass for the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which is really good for little kids, but not so much for the bigger ones. They were a little bit bored by that. We did eat lunch over in the Star Wars Bay area, which was really cool. And one thing that Jenny and I do on our itinerary is we kind of write this all down and highlight our Fast Pass areas, but we also have a section that's must-dos. And when you carry an itinerary around with it, you like this, which I just really recommend, you are able to do all the things in one area versus walking to the other side of the park and then back. Because on our first day at Hollywood Studios, I checked back on my Facebook and we walked 18,000 steps that day with 12 people.
That's amazing.
But we had some great stops in there. We went to Oga's Cantina. We got the Blue Moon Milk. The stormtroopers kind of followed us around and harassed us, which was incredibly fun. We loved that. So we loved Hollywood Studios. And being big Star Wars people, the Millennium Falcon ride was incredible. Everything was so realistic. We could have hung out there the whole time.
That's so fun. What was the crowd? What were the crowds like?
You know, it was really great that day. So that was, I think that was the Thursday before Thanksgiving break starts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's so nice. Because it's kind of worrisome, at least for me, because I'm not a huge fan of big crowds and neither is my family. But when you think about these like weeks like Thanksgiving and Christmas or the winter break and New Year's, like everyone in the United States is off those weeks. Whereas spring break varies. Right. And so you can be hit or miss with spring break, but you know, if people are like, all the schools are going to be out of school for Thanksgiving. So it's kind of, could be intimidating on what the parks will actually be like once that week hits.
Exactly. And our kids have gone to school together where we had a fall break. So our first trips to Disney World were during that fall break, mm-hmm. which was a wonderful crowd. You know, nobody was there really in October. And we got to do the Halloween show or the Halloween party and everything. And so we said, next time we go back, we want to see all the lights. We want to do all the holiday experience. Mm-hmm. And I talked to Becky and she said, just so you know, Christmas there is amazing, but it's really, really crowded. Mm-hmm. But if you're prepared and you're okay with that, awesome. And so we changed our trip from December to go during Thanksgiving and a little bit before Thanksgiving. And I'm really glad that we did.
Yeah, because they have all the holiday stuff up, right?
Right. I think it goes up November 1st, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
As
Probably
soon as
right
Halloween
after
is
Halloween.
over, you get to experience the lights and the whole new season of stuff, which was really beautiful at the park. We love that.
That's so fun. So what was your family's favorite ride at Hollywood Studios?
I have to say the Millennium Falcon. We rode it several times, and Disney does such a great job with the lines. So when you're going through the lines, you feel like you're part of that experience. You feel like you're there. And so when you get in the Millennium Falcon, there's 4 different seats. And so we rode it multiple times where one of us could be a pilot, one a navigator, and everything like that. So we did that one. We actually did that one a lot because the lines weren't that bad, and it's worth doing over and over because it's a different experience each time.
That's so crazy. Like that, because right now not literally right now, but yeah, that's one of the longest lines at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That makes me feel really lucky for going not during a super crowded week. If you can pull off getting there a couple of days early, it's 100% worth it.
So did y'all stay till park closed that day?
We ended up, we had a fast pass to go to the Fantasmic Light Show, which was really, really great. And that was at 9 p.m., so I'm pretty sure that was the end of the day. Yeah, we saw that, and then we left. So yeah, we did the full day park, 18,000 steps.
That's so fun. Okay, so let's move on to your second park day. Where did y'all visit?
Okay, so, we love all the parks, but there's something super magical about Magic Kingdom. I mean, it's just iconic Disney. So I had a note there in my Facebook stuff, too, where I'd written, having grandparents along with you is the best, because it's just generations of Disney that just everybody loves something. So we started out at Magic Kingdom. We had breakfast at Crystal Palace, which is my kids' very favorite place to eat. It's a beautiful, looks like a greenhouse, like a Victorian house, and it's breakfast food, so they have the Mickey waffles and everything. But it's the Pooh characters coming around, and our youngest loves Pooh Bear. And that's where they requested to have kind of a character meal that day. So we loved starting off breakfast. We did 8:45 at Crystal Palace. And then when you're in, you can head straight to the back to the super popular rides like Peter Pan's Flight. And so we got on that, and we didn't have to do a fast pass or anything. And that's another one with an incredible line, the images and the experience going through the line. And we all loved Peter Pan's Flight. And then we headed over to Winnie the Pooh and the 100-Acre Woods, which is something we had never done before, and it's one of my favorite memories. It's so sweet. And the design of it, the line is interactive. There's swirling honey that you can put your hands up on the wall. And all of my kids and all of the adults, we fell in love with the 100-Acre Wood line, and it was something we just skipped over on the trip before. So we absolutely love that. Then we had Fast Pass. We did Splash Mountain, always fun. And we had lunch around 1 o'clock at Be Our Guest. We couldn't get in with the reservation system for dinner, but we liked Be Our Guest, but it wasn't our favorite. It just felt it didn't feel like as special or as intimate as the other places. It's like a larger restaurant, and but it was fun to try the great stuff. It's delicious. Like I have, the pictures with the cupcakes and stuff like that. And after that, we did a fast pass to Space Mountain and did everything around there. I love the People Mover when you need to get off your feet for a little bit and hang out. The Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin is super fun for everybody. Where you can do the little shooty game. The Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is always just a trip to sit there, and they're so funny. And then we did some of us did the Speedway. I didn't do that one, but my husband took our youngest on that, and some of the other kids, and they loved doing that.
Yeah, that's so fun. My kids always like doing that too. I guess because they can't drive and they feel like they are driving. I don't know, but yeah, the gas smell kills me.
Yeah.
But
one thing that was really special about going at Thanksgiving too, and at Hollywood or Magic Kingdom, is the Very Merry Christmas Party, and that's from 6 to 10. So we got tickets to that. which is nice because everybody leaves the park and then you get to stay. So it's really quiet. The lines are awesome. If you can ever do a special party add-on with your trip, the Halloween or the Christmas one, I highly, highly recommend it. That's how we got into Seven Dwarfs Mine Train multiple times. And Becky hooked us up with a dessert party, seated outside for the fireworks. And oh my gosh, it's my favorite. I think it's my favorite memory of that whole trip because it was evening, the lights were coming down, the castle was lit up, they had this really amazing buffet. About half of my family is gluten-free, and they had amazing gluten-free desserts. I mean, plates of all sorts of gluten-free goodies. And we got to sit there totally comfortable in our own private space and watch the fireworks party. That was incredible. I don't think I'll ever forget that for the rest of my life.
So where is this set up at?
It's set up on a terrace.
So probably the Tomorrowland Terrace, maybe? Is it over on the Tomorrowland
yes,
side?
I think that's what it's called. Yes.
And
it's perfect viewing area.
Was this during like regular park hours, like the regular fireworks show, or the Christmas party fireworks show?
I think it was the Christmas party.
Okay.
That's what I have down in my notes. So, and we watched the fireworks that evening.
Awesome. That sounds so fun.
It was amazing. And that's also where he was 2 at the time. That's where he rode his very first real roller coaster because he was tall enough to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And so that ride, if you haven't done it, is probably the smoothest roller coaster ever. It's not jerky and it's just super fun. But the line is usually very, very, very long. And so we all got to do that one. And that was his very first roller coaster ride. And he loved it.
That's so cute. Yes, I think that ride's perfect for little kids or even kids who are scared of roller coasters but want to ride them. So you have a pretty big age gap in your kids with lots of different ages in between. What's a ride that everyone liked?
Definitely at Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
Or in general.
At
Magic Kingdom. Definitely Seven Dwarfs. Everybody loved that one. And then the pirate one. I can't remember what it's called. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Just the boat one going through. That was just super fun and relaxing for the grandparents all the way down to the little ones. The middle kids loved it too. I think the youngest, he was too small to go on Splash Mountain, but they all liked that one as well. And everybody really loves Peter Pan and 100 Acre Woods.
I know. Yeah. I love that Winnie the Pooh ride. It's so fun.
I honestly can't believe we skipped over it the time before. You know, sometimes when you have a little bit bigger kids, you think, oh, I'm not going to do that ride. But I recommend going on it because it was just so sweet. And the line getting in was almost as enjoyable as the ride. It was very interactive.
And the line moves very fast because the ride never really stops moving. So,
right. It really did move fast. I mean, we rode it multiple times while we were there.
So how was the crowd levels at this park on this day? Because this was a Friday.
Crowd levels at Magic Kingdom on that Friday before Thanksgiving break were awesome. No problem at all. We felt like there was so much space to walk around. The lines weren't that bad. We felt like we could do pretty much everything that we wanted to do.
That's so nice. So it really seems like try to go a few days early to get that kind of emptier park feel. Because I'm sure the crowds were coming.
The crowds are coming.
Oh, yes, I don't doubt it.
Definitely worth trying to get there a couple days early. Because we had learned on our trip that we had gone and gone and gone, and we had done something every single day. So now when we do Disney, we build in a down day in the middle. Which when you're there and the weather's nice, that kind of becomes your pool day because you're walking by these amazing pools, leaving your resort, and the kids are wanting to swim there. And you're like, we got to get to the park to do the fun stuff. And they're like, well, I want to do the fun stuff here. So building in that down day around anywhere between day 2 and 4 was really ideal for us. Everybody gets to rest. You're usually out late or getting there early. And then you get to have a lot of fun at the pools. And so our down day was Saturday. And we did, we swam. And the art animation is cool because it has two pools. It has a giant Nemo pool, which is super cool. And they had like fun stuff going on. They had games that the resort members were leading and everything. And then we were at the Cars pool as well, which has the cozy cones, that you can sit in out of the shade. And so it was just adorable. The only thing was the water was a little bit colder in November, but we still had a blast with that. And then I think we headed over to Disney Springs that afternoon.
Oh, that's
which
fun.
is fun.
How did y'all get there?
I'm pretty sure we Ubered over there.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but we went over there and then we walked around. We loved the Lego store, some of the stores. We really, really loved the Star Wars VR experience. I think it's called The Void, and you can sign up online and get a reservation there. It's for older kids. Mm-hmm. You have to wear these heavy packs. They put them on you in the big gear, but you literally feel like you are walking on planks. And Darth Vader's right there with his lightsaber and lava and everything. We ended up doing that, I think, twice because we loved that experience so much.
That's fun.
And we had a really great dinner in Disney Springs. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really nice like seafood restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And had a dessert that was about I think it was the Boathouse.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're going to Disney Springs, I do recommend a reservation, especially now. But we got some amazing dessert there, which was about 2 feet high. And we just laughed when it came out because that was just the 6 of us, my immediate family, that went there.
That's so funny. What was the dessert? Like, was it cake or brownies or ice cream or?
It was an ice cream, and it had all sorts of whipped cream. I feel like it had bananas on it, but I mean, it was literally, when they brought it out, we all just burst into laughter. We were so glad we only ordered one, but it's another one. I think it was a baked Alaska.
Okay.
That's what it was.
That's so funny.
We're so glad we only ordered one.
Okay, so after Disney Springs, did y'all just head back to your resort?
We did. We went back. We just rest. That's our rest day. When our family travels, we call it family flexibility mode, and we just kind of go into that. It's honestly like a sanity thing for everybody because you have to expect that something will go wrong or that there will be a line or you can't do what you want to do. And so having that down day and then that mentality just for the whole trip just makes everything fun.
Yeah.
So that was our rest day. Everybody was expecting it. We went to bed early. The suites are great because you can sleep 6 people in there. So everybody was spread out. There's a little mini fridge. And we just kind of hung out so that we could get up the next day, which was Sunday. And we went to Epcot, which is one of my husband's favorite places to go. And he loves Disney World. So that makes it really fun for us to plan these trips and go back. But we were leaving early and we took the Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. And then we took a boat to the Boardwalk Hotel where we had a 9:05 breakfast at the Trattoria al Forno, mm-hmm. which was a place that Becky recommended because they have the Tangled characters, which you don't really see that much anywhere, and we love them. And so we got to see them, and we had a really nice meal there, and they were so friendly. And my in-laws were staying at the Yacht Club. So that was really close to that one. So they just met us over there.
Yeah, I want to try that breakfast, but right now they don't have characters, and they haven't even said if they're even going to bring those characters back, which is kind of sad if they never do.
Oh, I hope they do because where else are you going to see Flynn Rider?
I know.
We saw Prince Eric.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really enjoyable meal there, too. So I would recommend that place, absolutely.
And then y'all just walked over to Epcot?
Yes, I think we walked to Epcot. It wasn't very far.
Mm-hmm.
We went straight into Soarin' because the grandparents love that ride. And so we did that one. But we went with the kids, the smaller kids, over to the seas with Nemo and friends, which is really cute. And we've also, a previous trip, eaten at the aquarium restaurant right there, which was delicious, but bring a sweater. It's freezing in there.
Oh, that's
FYI.
really nice.
But it's really cool, the huge aquarium and everything. And then we had about as best of an experience as you could with Turtle Talk with Crush. You know, the room was full, but it's small. And somehow, maybe because there were so many of us, they kept picking on us to talk with Crush. So we got to answer questions and you got to make fun of us. And everybody was just dying with laughter. So that is an experience. Once again, it sounds like maybe something really, really small kids would love, but everybody in our party loved that.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Then we had a couple fast passes lined up. So we went over and we did Test Track. We did Mission Space, which was really cool. I'd never done that before. And we did Spaceship Earth. And did the whole future world, which we had kind of skipped over on our previous trip. And then what is the big ball called?
That's Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth. Okay. I don't know why that doesn't make sense in my head, but that ride, you have to do it. Any height can do it, and it's so relaxing and interesting and kind of retro, and the lights. And I have very vivid memories of this very simple ride that everybody should do. So I highly recommend Spaceship Earth, and I'll try to remember the name of it.
Yeah, I agree. That's it's a classic. You have to do it.
Yeah. And another thing that we did before we left was I just Googled a list of the height requirements for every ride. And so on the itinerary, I would have the name of the ride we were going to do, and then parentheses behind it, I'd say 40 inches or any height. And that way you can know, hey, we're going to this one next. Can you stay with a smaller kid? Or we can all go ride it. And it just made it a little less stressful than getting there and being like, oh, can we all go on this ride? And that was super easy to find online as well.
Yes, that's a great, great tip. Especially when you have a lot of different heights in your family.
That's true.
There's nothing worse than a kid getting upset because everyone's going to go on a ride that they can't go on.
Right. And when you have this little itinerary with you, then you know exactly, hey, we're going to go ride Rock and Roller Coaster, and y'all are going to go hang out with Lightning McQueen, literally right next door, and everybody's happy.
Right. No, I think that's awesome. So what other rides did y'all do?
We couldn't get a fast pass for the Frozen Ever After, but the line said it was going to be about 90 minutes, and we only ended up waiting 60 minutes. It went, pretty quickly. That line isn't as pretty to kind of walk through. It's more big open space. But the ride was absolutely worth it. We all had fun on the Frozen Ever After. And then we just headed over and walked through the World Showcase, which when we've been there in the past in October, we've done the Food and Wine Festival, which is super fun to walk around and try different things from around the world. So we kind of did that. And we had a 6:10 dinner at the Teppen Odo Hibachi Grill, which was really fun. The food was delicious. They had us at 2 tables, and they were made like super cute Mickey shapes, out of the vegetables with the onion ears and everything like that on the grill. So even if you think, oh, you could do hibachi at home, it was still, they made it a Disney experience. It was worth it and delicious food. And then we had to do the Epcot fireworks that night too. So that was another full day. But I had in my notes that we only walked 15,000 steps that day.
Slackers.
I forgot to mention our Magic Kingdom day, we walked 21,000 steps.
Oh my gosh. That's just
so
insane.
Definitely bring good shoes, right?
Always bring.
You don't have to be super cute at Disney in your flip-flops. You need to be comfortable because you're going to be walking. And I think that very first trip that you and I did with our families in 2014, because we didn't have an itinerary, we would have a fast pass here, and then we'd walk all the way to the other side of the park for our next fast pass, and then we'd walk all the way back. So I can't even imagine how many steps we did there. So another plug for the itinerary, just to make your trip more enjoyable. Get to see everything that you want to see.
For sure. I love Epcot too. I love walking around the World Showcase. It's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, that's one of Sean's favorite things.
Yes. Okay, so that was another very long day for y'all. I mean, how was your little one holding up with all these long days?
He was doing great,
That's awesome.
We just crashed when we go back to the room, and we had a stroller for him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so enamored by everything. And we also just, throughout the trip, we'd say, well, we're going to go do this, but then we're going to do the people mover. Mm-hmm. So you can just sit and chill or ride a very chill ride. But he did amazing.
That's awesome.
And he still, I was showing him pictures this morning from our trip in 2019, and he said, I remember that.
Aww,
and I remember holding Pooh Bear or seeing Pooh Bear. Where's Tigger? And I'd scan through, and then we'd see Tigger. So he remembered it, even at that very young age.
That's so cute. My my guest from a couple of episodes ago, she took her 4-month-old, I think she was, or 6-month-old. She's very little. But her advice was take your kids even if you don't think they're going to remember it, because you will remember it. And so I thought that was really good advice. Like, she has all these special memories that her baby won't remember, but she will. So I thought that was sweet.
Well, that's true, because even our first trip in 2014, my only daughter, loved all the princess stuff. She was 4. She has 0 recollection of that trip. But we have the pictures where her face, when she's looking at Anna and Elsa and being in that moment and experiencing that pure joy that she had. So it's worth it, even if they don't remember it. I agree with that.
That's awesome. So how were the crowds today? Because this is a Sunday at Epcot.
Wasn't bad. It was still really decent. We were a little bit surprised, that week before Thanksgiving, but it wasn't noticeable that it was that much different. Fast forward to Monday, Thanksgiving break. Holy moly, everybody arrived at Disney World.
Oh, no.
It was shocking. I remember we went to Animal Kingdom that day. It was November 26th, a Monday. I remember the moment we were standing on a bridge, and I looked up, and you couldn't walk because there were so many people around you, and we all looked at each other and we were like, oh, this is different now. And we all kind of were like, oh no, this is a totally different experience,
Yeah.
You love Disney no matter what, but if you have to expect those crowds around the holidays, or you're going to be sorely disappointed. And so it was a very different experience. It was very crowded. We still had a blast. Animal Kingdom's probably on the lower of our list. We still love it, but we were glad that we kind of did that park during the busier day. Mm-hmm. We walked 18,000 steps that day. We went straight in, and we had a fast pass to Avatar. Oh no, we went in and we had a character breakfast at Tusker House, which we do Tusker House every single trip. It's just so cute. It's a safari breakfast. It's a buffet. It's delicious food. And you get to see Goofy there. And you don't get to see Goofy everywhere. And that's my husband and one of my boys, their favorite. And he's so fun to interact with. So Tusker House is a definite. And we went straight from there. We had a pass to the Avatar Flight of Passage, which had to be 44 inches to ride. So not everybody rode that one. But all of the 4 grandparents said that was the best ride they had ever been on in their entire life. It was amazing. It said it was a 4-hour line at that point.
Oh
with
my
a fast pass. Yeah, we were in 8 minutes.
I think 4 hours? That's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But, I don't know, if I might stand in line for. It's a quick ride, but it's so experiential that it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's probably the
We
only
all
ride
love that ride.
That's probably the only ride I would stand that long in, because I do love that ride too. It's amazing.
Yeah, I might agree with you on that one. I don't know if there's another one I would stand that long for.
I'm just like, that is insane.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about the fast passes. So hopefully that all gets sorted out in some way, because that was definitely worth it. After that, we did the Navi River journey, which any hike can do. And then we did the Kilimanjaro Safari. And that's just really fun. Oh, we got our faces painted before that. The kids did. So that was really fun. They always get their faces painted at Disney. They do such a great job. And then it makes adorable pictures the entire day. One year, my second son, he got Darth Maul. And then he did the Jedi training after that, which those characters there just had a ball messing with him the whole time.
Yeah, that's really funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we did the Cali River Rapids, which was fun. We didn't get soaked, which I love, but you get a little splash. And then we did a fast pass on Expedition Everest. That one's really fun. Everybody gets a kick out of that one. And the youngest one, he went to do one of the shows with the grandparents while we did that, because the Finding Nemo musical there is really, really cool. You kind of feel like you're in a little Broadway show. And that's right around the corner from that. And then there's also Dino Land there, which is super fun and really interactive, and the kids can run and play, and there's fossil games and a boneyard and the primeval whirl, and then It's Tough to Be a Bug is right there by that. And so that area was just so interactive for the younger kids. They all had a blast there.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I think we went over to early dinner, 4 p.m. at Rainforest Cafe, which was fine, but I loved some of the other restaurants in Animal Kingdom more than that. And then let's see. Then we did the Festival of the Lion King show, which is fantastic. It feels like another little Broadway show. And then you have to mark down to do the Rivers of Light show, which is on the big Animal Kingdom tree. It's just so magical. They're so creative. The shadows and the images that they put on this tree, you're transfixed sitting there looking at it before you walk out of the park for the evening. So that's a must-do. And I think we were so busy that day, I'm looking at my notes, that we just had Mickey bars for lunch. Me and Mom.
That's like a great lunch, though.
I'm a family on vacation saying, ice cream for lunch. And then everyone goes, yay! And then, you just have fun. And
yeah, for sure.
It's fine. You don't have to, waste a lot of time trying to get into restaurants if it's a problem. Just go on the go, flexibility, make some memories having ice cream for lunch.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Okay, so y'all had one more park day, is that correct?
That's correct. We had Tuesday, and we went back to Hollywood Studios, and oh boy, was it crowded. Very crowded. It made us glad that it was our last day at the park. But, we were going to go. We had planned another Thanksgiving trip for 2020, and COVID kind of knocked that down, and we were going to go during the Thanksgiving week. So if you know what to expect and you're okay with that, then awesome, rock and roll with it, but do know that week is very crowded.
Yeah, because Tuesday's 2 days before Thanksgiving, and you're saying the parks are already very crazy.
Absolutely packed, honestly. But we did have a lot of fun that day. It was fun knowing which park we wanted to go to twice, because we went straight in and we did Millennium Falcon again, the Galaxy's Edge. We did Toy Story Land again, and we had lunch at Woody's Lunchbox where you can mobile pre-order. There's a cute little Toy Story store there, and the Toy Story Mania is absolutely fun for everybody in the family. Got it. That's a must-do. We had a couple of fast passes then. We did Slinky Dog Dash, which was amazing. I took a little video of our 2-year-old on that, and I showed him today, and he said, I remember that. I want to go back. Let's go back. Slinky Dog Dash is such a fun ride. It's so cute.
It's another smooth roller coaster.
It is smooth, yeah, but the line was super long. You know, we had the fast pass and we were in 10 minutes, but the line marker said it was over an hour at that point.
Yeah. It's always a long one.
Yeah. But then we went back, we did Star Tours again, because Star Tours is fun because you almost always get a different experience in there. And then we did the first time in forever sing-along. I think our party split at that point because our bigger boys didn't want to go do that, but that was fun. And you just sing along in the show. Everybody's doing it. So that was really fun. We didn't have any dinner plans that night, so I had a couple of question marks on my notes. I don't even remember where we ate that night, but I remember we were just all so happy that we had come back to Hollywood Studios and spent more time there doing some of the rides again and doing things that we had missed that first day. Because some of the stuff you don't know if you're going to be able to get into it. It's, you know, the sign up when you get there, the Jedi Academy, or you did the Rise of the Resistance. That hadn't opened when we went last time.
Yeah, we did 2 days at Hollywood just to make sure we could get a boarding pass for that. But yeah, I mean, and it's a smaller park, so I don't know. I think if you have older kids, you should definitely do it 2 days because it's kind of geared more towards older kids.
Yeah, and it has some really cool interactive Star Wars stuff. You know, we got to meet Chewbacca. We got to meet BB-8. That was so cute. And that whole area, and they had Rey walking through. And so that, all the Star Wars stuff in Hollywood Studios was just excellently done. We were all so impressed, and we loved it there.
That's so fun. So y'all had a park hopper ticket, but did y'all ever park hop?
Oh, that's what it was. We left. That's why I couldn't remember where we ate. We went back to Magic Kingdom that last day. Yes, with the park hopper. Thank you. And my notes say crowds were getting daunting. We hung out there, though. My husband and my second son, they waited 140 minutes to ride Space Mountain, and then unfortunately it got shut down.
Oh, no.
And so they were disappointed. But Disney was awesome, and they gave them fast passes to come back in a little bit, so they were able to get through to that. And the nice thing when you're there with a bigger group, too, is you can split up. So I think I don't know if it was that night or not, but one night a couple of us went back early, and then, you know, some of the kids stayed out with my husband and rode more rides. And my second son, Sai, he said that's one of his favorite memories of all time was that one-on-one time with his dad. You know, it got chilly that evening. They went in the shop and they got some classic Mickey hoodies. And so all the pictures of them are just kind of these iconic Disney pictures of where they had this special time together.
That's so fun. I love that. I have to say, I think it's hilarious. You said they waited 140 minutes and were a little disappointed. I think my husband would have ran out of the park screaming. If he waited that long.
Would never go back to Disney World ever again.
He'd never go back. He would have just lost it. So they were a little disappointed.
Yeah, that's Sai's favorite ride. He loves Space Mountain, and so they had to do that. And one thing that's cool is we discovered this past week while we were in quarantine that there's all this wonderful stuff on Disney Plus that's backstories to Disneyland, Disney World, the Imagineers, and we sat and we watched, you know, the history of Space Mountain, which was absolutely fantastic. And I think if you do all that stuff beforehand, when you go, it just makes your trip so much more enjoyable. So, you know, watch all the movies, watch the shows, get everything that you can beforehand so that when you get there, you're just a kid again. You're just having fun. Like Disney World feels like such a safe, clean, friendly place that you can just go and you can have as much fun as the kids.
Yeah, I totally agree. We love those shows too. It's fascinating to watch
It's so great. I love that they have that.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is awesome.
It's very fun. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was your worst or least favorite memory from the trip?
I think probably that moment when I stood in Animal Kingdom with a party of 12 with thousands and thousands and thousands of people and realizing that all of a sudden the rest of our trip was going to be different because it was so crowded. I mean, I can remember specifically where we were standing and how all of a sudden our afternoon just kind of changed because it wasn't like it was the couple days prior.
Yeah.
It felt so nice to be there when it wasn't so crowded. So I would say that. And then just kind of the stress on night one with the travel, with our baggage not getting to the room until so late. But, we learned from that, and we would do that different next time.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that, the kids had PJs and everything, but we didn't realize that it would take so long for the baggage to get to the room.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment?
So many. Seeing their faces when they experience everything from the beginning, the art of animation, and seeing all of their faces when they see these life-size cars there, that was incredible. The dessert on the terrace, watching the fireworks was magical. I'll never forget it my entire life. A big party of 12 out there on this private terrace, comfortable. You can do that. Do it. It's so worth it. That was probably my very favorite moment of the whole trip. But just seeing the kids so happy and smiling and seeing their interaction with the grandparents as well, like making those memories as a family and our aunt and uncle. Disney's it's definitely just worth doing, and knowing that when you get there, you just got to go with the flow and experience it and love it for what it's worth. I mean, everybody's so friendly there. They're going to take care of you. Yeah, I love it.
So what would be your tips or advice for traveling during a busy week?
The tips for traveling during a busy week would be to do your best to get there on the early side, or maybe even on the back side, when people are leaving. Especially if your kids are younger and they'll have to miss a little bit of school, then, you're going to make those memories. Planning out, definitely having your itinerary was super helpful, and everybody would turn to me and say, where are we going next? And so you're not spending time on the app trying to figure it out. You just pull out your sheet and you say, this is where we're going. And then you all just meander over that way. So having a plan, I would say, would be a big tip for a busy week. Or you're going to get there and you're not going to have as much fun as if you had just spent a little time planning it out. Doing things in certain areas and then going to the next area, minimizing that walking. And then just going into flexibility family mode where you just have fun and know that there's going to be crowds and that you're going to wait, but just enjoy the experience.
I think that's awesome. I also think it's funny, especially traveling with kids, that sometimes it's the littlest moments that become the favorite moments. It doesn't even have to be a ride or a meal or the big things you plan. It's sometimes something little that happens that everyone remembers.
That is so true.
Okay, so when is your next Disney trip planned?
Well, we did have to cancel our big one last Thanksgiving. And then, you went and we thought, well, we'll just wait and we'll just wait. But, these years just go so fast and you just don't know what's going to happen in a world situation. And I think for us, we were like, we need to take the trip. We need to make the memories. And our kids, when we went on our Disney cruise, we surprised them. And so they said, the next time we go to Disney, surprise us. because we love that so much. I personally don't like surprises. I like to know and plan, but if I can plan it, then it's all good. So we are planning a trip. Oh my gosh, I think it's next weekend. And we are going over Labor Day weekend, and we're going to Disneyland. And we've never been to Disneyland. And because we have a Cars fanatic and we're a big Avengers family as well, we're going to see all these amazing things where we fly in on a Saturday morning. Becky hooked us up with a hotel literally right across the street. We just walk to the park, and then we're going to spend all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and get on a flight Monday morning and fly home. So it's going to be short and sweet, but we're super excited to surprise the kids during this crazy time. My teenager just had COVID, and he's still in quarantine at home. And so they have no idea. And it feels like we planned this trip not knowing, what was going on. And then that happened, and we were all quarantined for a while. And in the back of our head, we knew that we had something special to do together as a family. And so thank you again for Disney and for Becky, who just is amazing at helping us and working with us to really make sure we have the best trip possible. We use her every time that we have gone on a Disney trip after that first one. So we are super excited for Disneyland soon.
I'm so excited, and you will be back on the show to tell us about it. And I cannot wait.
I can't wait.
Y'all are going to have the best time. I love Disneyland, and I think 2 days there, you have plenty of time to do everything because the parks are so small. Like, you're going to be shocked.
Oh, wow. Well, that's what's helpful is things like this podcast or having friends that go that you can talk through everything with, because planning Disney, that first time we did it, was so overwhelming for both of us. And we met with a friend, and we had the guidebooks, and she showed us the map and said, you have to do that. And, all of that's changed so much now. So being able to talk through and learn tips like this off your podcast just makes your trip so much more fun, because you've got to have a blast when you go.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Eve. I had so much fun talking to you, like I always do, especially about Disney. We could talk for hours.
I know. I think it's so cool that you're doing this. I'm so excited. Thank you for leading through this and all the great tips that you're giving to everybody, and I can't wait to come back.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Check out our Instagram page at Disney Travel Tales to see pictures from Eve's trip. If you are interested in coming on the show, email me at disneytravelpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening today. This is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.